Hey guys, uh, it's Nikita, and welcome to My Broken Budget. So I've gotten a little inspiration from a few of the channels that I follow, and they have been doing like a midweek or mid pay period check in. So I kind of wanted to do that as well, just to see where I am. Um, from my budget standpoint, how well have I um, maintained the budget? I will say that I have um, deviated from the budget a bit, but somewhat out of necessity. Um, and I'll get into that. But I also wanted to see in my cash envelopes. I wanted to see like what remains. We'll do that at the end, but I think my process going forward will be um, well, what I do today is as transactions or my bills come out of my account, um, more or less that are paid or automatic, I do cross them out on my paycheck worksheet. So as you see, majority of these items have been processed. Um, the darker highlight you see, that was due to a change that was made. Specifically, my one of my credit cards, I budgeted for $46, but somehow either I missed a payment or interest hit or something, and it came in at 106.88. So that's technically over budget. So I just adjusted wherever I adjusted the numbers. I highlighted it in a darker color so that I could easily identify what was changed. Um, let's see. So I think the last time we talked about my budget, I mentioned that I had already used some of my grocery money. I can tell you that I used everything that was in there at the time, and then I've added to it um, because let me do that. So I did have to borrow some cash from my upcoming paycheck, so that's $200 there, and part of that I may be able to show you. Part of that is coming from my February 16th paycheck, and so I have that here. So I looked at what was going to be coming due in order to do this again. I don't recommend this, but this is my alternative to using debt. Instead of putting something on my credit card, this is my alternative. I'd rather owe myself interest free than owe a credit card company. So, again, you have to do what works for you, but I don't recommend doing this. So what I did is I looked ahead to my bills coming that are due on the 16th or from the paycheck on the 16th, and I determined what can I hold off on paying or postpone on paying that technically doesn't have to be paid within this pay period. And the two bills that I am able to kind of like push forward, so to speak, is what I've saved for my water bill and what I've saved for my trash bill. Now, will that impact that paycheck? That those were like the month that they will be doing? Yes. But I know that what I am doing now, as far as getting ahead, um, getting current on all my bills, whatever, is kind of allowing me to have a little bit more wiggle room in those paychecks versus the ones that are happening right now. Um, and I also know that I will be getting a raise, whatever it may be. And I also know that I will be getting a bonus, again, whatever it may be, in the month of March. So um, when I know that there's going to be an increase in income, that allows me to do this. I'm not trying to do this long term, but again, it's an alternative for me to using debt. Um, Unfortunately, what I had budgeted was small, and I knew it was small, and I've done really well with sticking to the amount of money that I've put in place. However, um, I've had to get gas, and I've also had to I had to get more groceries. And one reason why I had to get a few more groceries is because I had a birthday that unfortunately I didn't pre-plan for, which moving forward, that's not going to be an issue because I will include it in my budget. But I did have to buy some things specific to that birthday. So, um, anyways, water and trash are going to be essentially zeroed out, meaning I'm not going to apply any amount of money to those in from that paycheck on the 16th, and I will care for that at a later date. Yeah, it works for me now. I do not recommend doing that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So everything has been crossed out, and I know that we talked before. If you're new here, I have a previous video where I kind of explained my new um, expense tracking. The Budget Mom worksheet was great, and I probably will move back to that if this tends to be cumbersome. But I didn't have enough rows. And I was tracking all of my bills on her worksheets. That might not have been the right way to do it, but that's what I was doing. And so I moved to the column book where I can kind of essentially track like a check register, what transactions are going on in that particular account, whether it's cash transfers, withdrawals, my bills actually processing, all of those things. But I can easily do that within one sheet and go back and categorize the transactions. So that's what I'm doing. So as you see, most of the transactions are occurring on my main account, and then there's been a couple of transfers. There was an unexpected expense. I've since canceled that expense, and so it should not come out any further, but it came out of my spending account, and so I just transferred the money from my main account to that spending account to care for that negative, and then that bill is not going to occur from that account anymore. If I happen to set it up again, I'll set it up to come out of my main account. And so, with that said, I know that there are transactions due to come out in the coming days leading up to my next paycheck, but for the most part, we look good from a budget standpoint. Everything is processing as it should. There was only one surprise, and I've corrected that. And so, let's see. So I have crossed out all of the days leading up to, well, technically today, because I know that credit card was paid, but I've crossed out all the dates. I can see what's coming up. I can cross-reference to my budget sheet and make sure that I haven't missed anything, which I know I haven't. We've looked at this a couple of times. So, for my spending, let's look at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And so in my envelopes, like I said, I did get some additional income, and most of that went into groceries. And so I know 20 of that went back into birthday, so that's technically 120. Yeah. All right, so let's just confirm that. Actually, not 120. Yeah, it was 120, but $20 has been spent. So 20, 40, 60, 81. There was a new phone charger that was needed, and a birthday sash. So yeah, we've got 120 or 100, and then we've spent 20. And then what else? I don't think I had anything in miscellaneous. Kids activities. I think this had $20 originally. Yeah, sports, kids activities originally had $20, and then I added from my previous check the $20 for Valentine's. So my last check in January, I allotted $20 for Valentine's because I know I'm gonna need candy and cards for the school. So that would have been $40. And so we have left 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. So we've got $32 left. So that's $8 that has been spent for the kids' activities. I will likely spend the Valentine's money this weekend because I'm sure everyone's going to be doing Valentine's Day hunting this weekend leading into next week. For pet care, that originally had $20 and it has left 1, 2, 3. I do not think he's going to need anything, and I haven't decided if I'm going to roll over this money and just continue to add to it. But we'll see, because your girl got some savings challenges to fund as well. Gas gone. Wipe that out the first day. In my upcoming budgets, I'll probably will allot more gas money. Because again, the kids are also saving and gas is ridiculous. So I'm just going to include that. Include some additional income for gas. And then for groceries, I originally allotted $75. I spent some on my cash, on my card, and then got the rest in cash. But that, again, wiped out. Same weekend I got paid. But the additional money that I got, some of it is what's in here. So let me step back for a second, and then we'll count what's left in groceries. But the $200, the reason why I got this is there was like not really a medical emergency, but there was like a health and wellness sort of emergency that I had to deal with. And you know, dealing with kids in school, you can probably imagine what issue we've been dealing with. I've never had to deal with this in my life. However, I'm dealing with it now. So, yeah, I had to purchase some things in order to care for that. And it was not something that I had in my budget, but that lets me know that that just needs to be not necessarily maybe a sinking fund in the future, which I am planning on establishing sinking funds now that I'm getting caught up and not so worried about making sure that all the bills are paid. And so that is why I had to get that additional money. I think I spent $120 from what I had, and then the $200 had to recoup that money so that my bills would not, cause me to go negative. So that's a little history on the $200 and where that had to go and why I had to do that. It wasn't really that I went over budget in anything and I had to care for that. It was I had to buy something. I didn't have the money available to buy within my budget, and so I had to borrow to care for that. And so I'll do a calculation on where I think it was like $65 was left over. So yeah, 20 of that went back into birthday, and then I bought some additional stuff for the birthday at the grocery store. And so what's left of that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have $10 remaining from, I want to say, what is that? $45. So if I got 65, what was the difference between what I had to spend and the $200? 20 of that went back to birthday, or it was added to birthday, and then 45, and I've got 10. So I spent $35 at the grocery store. So, I think I'm doing really well. I have money in my envelopes mid pay period. This birthday money is about to come out of here and go straight into a birthday card. And so, yeah, I think overall I'm doing really good in my budget. We will have a closeout for this pay period as we go into the pay period for the 16th and see where we are as we prior to doing any cash stuffing for that paycheck on the 16th. So if you are like me and you're kind of struggling, I don't want to say struggling to make ends meet, but that's probably the majority of us right now, but paycheck to paycheck. I know my budget is significantly higher, but I'm still, as you see, I'm still very much paycheck to paycheck, and I am having, I'm scrounging, penny pinching, doing what I can to save some money or, care for my family, which is, I'm sure all of us. Speaking of penny pinching, I have been saving change that I find, or, as I'm spending cash, I am putting that to the side to um, fund my savings challenge to pay down debt. So that is not stopping. If anything, it's allowed me to throw some more money at my savings challenge. And so that is what I am going to do. I'll probably make a short of that or something, something fun, because I'm still very much on that debt-free journey. So I appreciate you if you've made it this far. Hopefully this is something that you are continuing to tune in and watch me along this journey. I'm really finding inspiration with all of you within this community, and it's just making me want to continue and be successful and see what I can do by the end of this year. I'm really hoping that I can knock down a significant amount of my debt. I really hope that I can start throwing money into sinking funds, and then if I'm lucky, maybe I can gain enough subscribers and can eventually, who knows, become monetized. That's not my goal. I would love to do it so that I could just throw any income at my my debt, but ultimately this is holding me accountable to stick to my budget and work the plan, and by doing so it will help me reach my goals. So I appreciate you all for allowing me to do that. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you've made it this far and you're not currently subscribed, I hope you do so. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.